There's a trade-off that comes in life with everything. I'm thinking more recently about the trade-off that comes with driving times. So you think about it. A lot of places you want to go are not literally next to your house. It takes time to get there. For example, a nice mall. There's lots of malls near where I am. But the Grove in LA, now that's pretty cool. Or Americana at the brand, blah blah blah. But those are far, an hour drive at least. And on the weekends there's still traffic, and so it takes forever. You get there, enjoy your time, then you're like, oh, another hour and a half to home with a grumpy baby in the back. Wonderful. But that's just for fun, right? That's something you don't do all the time. I feel that's the thing, right? If it's occasional, I think it's easier for us to make an exception. Say, yeah, it's worth the drive. Well, what if it's every day, all the time? And before we get to that extreme, right? What if it's common? So let's go with common. Not every day, not all the time, but more often than unoften, if there's such a word. I would say eating is one of those things. Some people are willing to drive for food, and some people are not. And you would think, and I don't know if there's any data on this, but the people who are willing to drive for food don't do this all the time. But maybe they actually do. And food is just so important to them that they're willing to go far away for food when we could get a food nearby. The extreme, though, is work. Driving far to go to work, which is something you do all the time. I mean, maybe now with, working remote and stuff, people do it less. But still, the concept is this is a almost everyday activity, and you're spending a lot of your time commuting. And you hear stories about these super commuters who spend 4 hours one way, and that's crazy, right? And it's crazy if you think about the amount of time there is in a day. Presuming they work an 8-hour day, 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 8, right? Hours they commute, hours they work, 16 hours. There's only 8 hours left in the day. How many do you sleep? Maybe you sleep on a commute. Anyways, it's just not much time left in the rest of your day to do stuff like, I presume you still brush your teeth. Maybe you don't do anything that you don't absolutely need to. Do you have to eat? Do you have to prepare food? Wash dishes? It's just craziness to me. But recently I've been thinking about this idea of commute because I always thought everybody wants a shorter commute, right? Shorter is better. Shorter is nicer. Shorter just gives you more time, right? I mean, you're not paid for your commute. It's just ridiculous how much time we waste on this thing. But I was talking to a colleague who was saying that, oh, he doesn't mind. Huh? Like you could potentially work somewhere at a branch closer to your home. It'd save you like half the time. But you don't mind? Maybe he feels the commute 30 minutes is fine. It's not a big deal. Maybe some people enjoy a little bit longer commute. Maybe there's a difference between 1 hour and 2 hours. As in, 1 hour is okay, but 2 hours is unacceptable. Half an hour is okay. Maybe even more desirable than 15 minutes because you have time to finish a podcast then, whereas 15 minutes you don't. But I always thought the idea is walking to work, right? That's the ideal. You're just so close, you just walk there. Driving is not really a thing you get much exercise doing. Nobody says it's good for your health, probably bad for your health. Look at truck drivers, a lot of them have kidney issues because the vibration's bad for you. Anyways, so that was got me started thinking. When I'm looking for someplace, would I rather find a place I like working at versus a place closer to home? To what extent do you take that mentality, that thought? Do we do it for our everyday life? Would you rather go to a place that tastes better and drive further? Yes, for food, people are often willing to do it. What about going to the store? Would you go further for a store where people are nicer? Yes. Well, what happens if it's every day? A place you buy your milk. I guess milk you don't need to buy every day. Fridges are big in America. You can buy a whole gallon. But the idea of trade-offs, right? Because I always think about it as time is a trade-off, right? Time is valuable. But then, what about these things that you don't measure? How miserable or pleasant your work environment is? How miserable or pleasant the store is? These are all trade-offs, values. We do know there's a calculation for money and time. Well, for these other things, something new for me to think about.